Hello there, you geeks and nerds and lovers of fantasy. I'm just coming here today. If you're looking for my live stream, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to do it today because I guess I didn't know this at the time, but YouTube, when you click on live stream and you activate it, it takes 24 hours for them to verify everything so that you can actually do live stream. So the live stream's been moved to tomorrow night. Unless it changes, unless something like really big happens and I can't do it, then I'll update it again. But hopefully around the same time, 10 o'clock p.m. Central, we'll be doing a live stream there. So look forward to that. But anyways, this is my Final Fantasy VII final spoiler review. This will have spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, if you haven't played the game, please go. Don't watch, but if you don't care or you play the game and you just want to know my final opinions on it, I'll do my rating now, and then I'll talk about it. I give Final Fantasy VII Remake a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. It is a fantastic game. The combat is smooth. It's a mix between you can do pretty much different things. I borrowed the game, so I wanted to get it done quickly. So I kind of just knocked through it as fast as I could. I might have missed a lot of stuff, but I wanted to get through it, mainly for the story. I wanted to see what the story was going, and it did pretty well. Most of the game, the story sticks to the original. Actually, quite well. And you'll really get into it. I was really involved in a lot of the characters are fantastic. If you don't know the characters, you got the main character, Cloud, who is a former soldier, well, a failed soldier, who becomes a soldier. It is a complicated story, let me tell you. And if you haven't done the original game, go play the original, because it's so much better. Well, I'll get to that when I get towards the end. Well, it begins pretty much the same. It follows the story, but it involves you in the side characters so much more. Like, most of the time, you didn't really get to know Jesse and those characters. You never really cared. So when they died in the original game, you just said, well, whatever. And this one, you feel it. It'll hit you. Jessie is cute. She's fun. She flirts with you, and you want to flirt back. She's one of those, personalities in the game that you're like, Tifa's cute, but so is Jessie. Can I hook up with her? No. Unfortunately, she does die. And one of the other characters dies. Or does he? At the end, there's something, a little surprise. It shows the land of this world where you kind of live in like slums underneath this plates. They have like a plate on top of the city, and the rich people live on top of this plate, and the people who work for the company work on top of this plate. Well, everybody else lives under in these slummy, dirty conditions. They have to have clean water filters, and there's a whole side quest where you have to go replace people's, water filters. Side quests are okay. They're kind of are there to knock out more time. They have a reason for them. They're going to get your name out there as a merc, because that's what you're gonna do. Is you're gonna be a mercenary for hire, and so you do a lot of that. There's some of the quests that kind of suck, but if you try to gather all the quests together before you go out, a lot of times while you're doing one quest, you'll meet another quest. So, especially in the Chocobo one later on, I suggest you don't just rush out to do the Chocobos. You collect all the other quests, because you'll see where a lot of the other quests will actually run into the Chocobo. So you don't have to keep running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Other characters, Wedge is an interesting character. He's kind of little chubby guy, kind of not really helpful, but tries to be. Barrett is the big, over-the-top boss. And yeah, at first I didn't like the way they treated him. I kind of thought they were just like, I don't know. He's always been a little over the top, but I thought they just went way too far. But later, he definitely grows on you. In the end, you're like, I like Barrett. He's freaking awesome. Tifa is fantastic, and God dropped down sexy like always. She's always been one of the most hottest gaming characters ever. Eris is a sweetheart, and you like her just as much as you like Tifa. But yeah, so you'll follow their story as they go through different slums. The major parts in the game that really stood out to me, one of the funniest parts was like an original where you had to go to the Honeybee Inn and they dress you like a lady. In this one, there's a dance routine. I liked it, but I didn't. The only problem I had with the dance routine was really, really hard to see some of the buttons with the colors, because they do like these, they'll have like floating circle, like a circle, square, triangle. But the problem is they have like flashing lights, and so they'll blend in the flashing lights every once in a while and you'll miss some. I kind of wish they did it like you would do in a lot of the dancing games, where it would scroll down the side and you just got to hit it as it scrolls. Because most of the time you're not even watching the dance, you're trying to just hit the buttons and you're looking for the buttons, so you're missing the whole Cloud being not Cloud. I don't ever see Cloud actually doing this dance. And then they dress you like a lady. My God, you're walking on the street and you can tell Cloud's fucking pissed. Claire's like, you're so cute. And he's like, shut up, leave me alone. Don't say anything. And then like people are whistling at you like, damn, she's so beautiful. Will you be my bride? And you're like, God damn it. Poor Cloud. That was a pretty funny scene. I will warn you, I'll say this for Final Fantasy. For those who are crazed people who want diversity and everything, this is one of those points where a company can put a transgender person into a game in the right way. They have this character who's a side character. He's in the gym, and you go there for some of the side quests, and it's a dude with long hair who has makeup on. And you could tell it's a transgender, but it's good character. It's not a slap in the face. He's not like, I'm a transgender, you better like me. No, it's like, or me male. No, it's like, hey, would you like to work out? Would you like to show my guys here how to do it properly? And they don't slap you in the face with it. It's not like, ha, look at me, shove it down your throat crap. Preachy, don't even mention it. Don't even mention who is a transgender. It doesn't even say it ever in the game. You just treat it like a normal character, and that's how you do it. You don't need to shove it down people's throats. You don't need a character to come out and be like, I'm a transgender, you better like me. That's not how you do it. You don't do that with gays. You don't do it with transgenders. You don't do it with people of color or anything. In games and stories, you do it naturally. You let it just be part of the game, and people can like it or not, whatever. But as long as you're not shoving it down their throats and trying to preach to them, they'll forgive it pretty quick. Because at first I was like, oh, of course. And then at the end I was like, you know what? I like that character. It was pretty funny. There's a battle arena. I only did a couple of battles. I didn't really get into. I should have, because I'm pretty sure I probably got a weapon or something from that. But as I said, I was just trying to get through the game. You meet Corneo. Holy crap, that dude's a pervert fucking piece of shit. Immediately you're gonna see him, you're like, God damn it. He looks like Weinstein if he was a game character. Oh, Jesus Christ. You instantly hate that character. You just want to kill him so bad. Fortunately, he gets away in the game. And you're like, God damn it. anyways, that's pretty much where I stopped my initial video, was right before then. So this is kind of right after that. Some of the coolest areas, the train graveyard was actually pretty cool. It was one of my favorite zones from the original because it's kind of creepy and you getting jumped by ghosts and stuff. And they do this in this one, but they're like little kids that have been trapped there by like this cool ass boss, the big ass scythe. He has like an undead freaking chariot, and you fight that boss. That was a fun fight. I'll give it this: Final Fantasy VII Remake has some fun ass boss battles, and a lot more than the original. And so it's a lot. It was actually pretty fun. I was really expecting the ghost train. Like, they kept bringing, like, trains down. I was like, oh, is that the ghost train? It's going to be the fucking ghost train. And then now, it wasn't the fucking ghost train. But, anyways, yeah, you keep going. You go save Eris from the Shinra building, eventually. Oh, they dropped a plate. I almost forgot about that. When you're going to the ghost graveyard, you find out they're attacking the plate. And they're going to drop this plate, which is above the slums, onto the slums, killing, like, everyone. So you desperately go and you try to save them, and unfortunately you fail. But luckily you were able to get as many people as you could out before the plate fell. So you saved a lot of lives, but still, it's like you feel the characters' like emotion and how they lose their homes, everything. You know, so many people have died, and you finally get through the building. And we'll skip ahead to some of the other more parts. The Shinra building was alright. It was a lot better than the original. I'll have to say this. The original Shinra building was freaking annoying. Because you gotta get key cards to get to different levels. And you were like, boom, 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 boom. And all over the place. The one thing I find annoying is that in the original game, you get to a certain area to save Eris. You get captured, and you wake up in prison, and everybody's dead. Like, there's blood on the walls as you're walking on the hallways, blood trails of people who've been dragged. This game doesn't have that. I was a little disappointed with that. I was kind of looking forward to seeing the horror part in that. But anyways, you get through that. You meet the president finally. Like, he's a dick. You have to go through this whole like museum in the Shinra building where he's got like a giant gold statue of himself. You're like, God, this guy thinks he's God or something. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they simulators are pretty cool though, but it wasn't like the original. Then at this point it starts going way away from the original story. You're like this. Here's the original story, here's this story, and it's going almost the exact same. But all suddenly, when it gets to like right at the end, it goes or like way off in its own direction, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And you meet Sephiroth, you find out that you see Genova, which thank God they kept Genova in it. I was a little worried. And then you fight Genova in the building. That is a spoiler. You do fight Genova in the Shinra building at the beginning of the game. No, Square Enix, that's not. No, key to the story, man. You're not supposed to meet Genova until far later. It's just like a creepy thing in a tube when you first meet it. Anyways, you have to escape the building. Well, after you save Eris, and you fight the president's son on the roof. He's a pretty interesting battle. If you're looking into this, kill the dog first, or you have to constantly heal the dude. Same as the original game. And then you do like this little fight where you fight as Barrett, and you have to take on this big machine. That was a pretty good fight. You just gotta hide from these big lasers and crap. And then you pretty much had to go on this like long motorcycle fight thing. You're driving around on a motorcycle. I didn't really like those because they just, I don't know, they weren't like part of the game. It seems out of place. Like they're kind of thrown in there just for extra stuff, make the game longer. And then the original game, that's the end of the first disc. You get to the edge of the road, and you all look out. You know, Midgar's behind you, and then you are going to follow Sephiroth into the world to chase him down. And that's where the first disc ends, and this is where I expected it to end. Then it didn't. In the game, they have these little phantom things that float around. They're called Whisperers. And they change fate, or they try to keep fate from changing. And I knew that pretty early on. I figured them out pretty quick. It was like a scene where you're inside this lab and you discover you're a flashback. And immediately they come in and grab you and take you out. You're not supposed to find that lab yet. And it just, I was like, that's what they're doing with these things. Because at first I was like, what the fuck are these things? As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, they're fate things. They keep you on the path. I was like, damn it. But they make an important role at the end. Sephiroth wants to change fate, change to, you know, it's kind of diverting from the original. And you fight Sephiroth in this. Yes, in the very first area, you start fighting Sephiroth, and it's like, no, Sephiroth is the bad guy. You're supposed to keep him until the end of the games. Like, the entire games are out. He is the ultimate bad guy. Because now that you've fought him, it kind of just, it ruins that experience for when you finally get to the very end of the game. Yeah, and they changed a lot at the end, and that's why I took a point off. I just did not like the changes. I hated the change. Not all the changes. Some of the changes were good. When they were delving into other characters and stuff like those were good changes. But when they just like threw the ending where you had this massive boss that shows up, that's like this big fate creature and then you have to fight it, and it's like a singularity, they call it. And it's like, there's no point. You should have just ended it. Right before that, right when they get to the edge of the road, they should have ended it. They should have walked down the road, had a big cutscene where they're looking out, and then they just decide that they're going to leave Midgard behind. It's not safe for them in Midgard anymore. That's the reason they left in the first game. That's one of the reasons. They were going to go chase after Sephiroth. And they were going to... and it was no longer safe. They were hunted now. They're openly hunted in Midgard because they now know who they are. Shinra's looking for him now that the president's dead and his son's taken over. So, anyways, you leave. In this game, it talks about leaving. And I just wish they ended it there, because then you do the whole fight it was a cool fight, don't get me wrong. I didn't want it. I wanted this to look like the original game, just renewed for better. And it really threw off the original story. This part really threw off the original story. I don't even know where they're going to go. To be honest, I don't know how they're going to continue. I did see a interview where they were talking about something about DLC. Who was it that I was watching? I was talking about this too. Was it Clownfish? It might have been Clownfish TV. And how that they're going to release the next stuff in small DLC. The rest of the story. And not do like 3 whole games. Just do like, hey, here's a DLC, here's another DLC, here's another DLC, and here's another DLC. Whatever they're going to do. And but they did say that they're going to go back to the original story. They're going to follow the original story. If that's true, good. But they've already thrown so much information out there that should have been like way later on in the game. Like they put Zeke in there at the end. I don't know why. It kind of made no sense. Like the whole time, every time he came on screen, I was like, what? Because you don't know who Zeke is until the end of the game. Like the actual end of the full game, almost. Is when Cloud realizes he wasn't the soldier that Zeke was. But when Zeke was killed, you picked up his sword and you killed Sephiroth. Well, the original Sephiroth. And your memory's been messed with by Hojo, I believe, if I remember. It's been 15, 20 years almost since I played the original. But, yeah, I don't know. But, guys, it is worth it. Even with my complaints about the end, the detail in this game was so good. The grounds are cracked. You can't jump. That is kind of annoying. I wish they put a jump function in there so you can like jump over little objects and stuff. Get the secret area. I understand why. Because I want to make sure you couldn't get off, But I like games that have jump functions. I don't know why. I just do. When you're trapped in this running, it's like, I just wish I could jump. For some reason in games, I'm like, yeah, I like to jump around. I can't do it in this game. Okay, now I'm just picking on it. All right, anyway, but it's worth it. It's a 9 out of 10. I took away 1 point because of the story. Most of the story is good. Just the ending is when it just went, I don't know, took a left field. It's like, boom. And I actually, it looks like to me that they might not have planned 3 games. This might have been just a game. Final Fantasy VII Remake Midgar, where they just do like a short story type, but not an actual remake. Maybe just like, Midgar. I don't know. I don't know what they would have called it. Final Fantasy VII Midgar stories or something. I made it in like a different timeline, and for some reason timelines are shifting. And another parallel universe is being created or something. I don't know. But I do hope they get back to the original story, because the original story was perfect. Of all the games I've ever played, I think 7 is one of the only ones that was almost absolute perfection to me. Maybe it's because I loved it so much, but it was so good. Yeah. Put your comments below what you thought about the game if you played it, and what you thought, about how I felt about it, and if you want to discuss, in the comments or on the live stream tomorrow, we might even talk about it. My brother hasn't played it, so he'll be on the live stream. We'll be talking about the books. We'll be talking about games. And whatever, you guys want to talk about. But anyways, thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope you all stay safe and stay healthy. This is just, your friendly neighborhood bearded vet. And just trying to get by, and just want to let you know how I felt. And I'm excited to see what they have planned for the next part. All right. Well, you guys have a great time and have fun.